Three, two, one.
Good morning, y'all.
What's up, people? Happy Friday.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, today is Friday, January 21st. This is the Talent Talk Market Update. It would be awesome if I could speak clearly. Good morning, Donna.
Good morning, Donna.
Good morning, Tom.
And you know what? When people have tuned in, they clicked on a link because what are we talking about today?
We are talking about sellers and the pitfalls and three biggest obstacles that they can face in this market today.
Three.
I don't think sellers realize that there's obstacles for them in this market because we talk about how big of a seller's market it is, but they could be leaving loads of money on the table surrounded by these three obstacles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good morning, Pat.
Happy Friday, Pat.
And you know what's awesome about obstacles? Obstacles are opportunities to succeed and put yourself above the competition and really find the right buyer.
Yep. And obstacles can be overcome.
Absolutely. So, you know what? We're still getting into our new format here and just getting into the swing of things. So as we do, we'll keep filling it out. But we are so appreciative of you guys joining us today. You might be seeing us on Facebook. If so, give us a like, give us a follow. You might be watching us on YouTube, in which case we would love for you to subscribe, maybe even hit the alert and just get the alerts when we go live or publish something new. Steve, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. We're in
in the middle today.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Excellent. Well, you know what? We always have a little bit of news coming up. So just before we get into talking about the obstacles and some of the things we do, if we want to give anybody some news, we did hear one thing, right? We've been talking about this for a while with interest rates, and guess what? Interest rates are actually finally on the rise. On the week ending January 20th for the Freddie Mac Primary Mortgage Market Survey, it actually last week was at 3.45%. That's excellent credit, 20% down with with the whole thing wrapped up really well. And good morning, Victor.
Hey,
It's at 3.45%. This week it's gone up to 3.56%. And for a little bit of context, last year at this time is 2.77%. So the easing of the buying, the selling with the Fed, trying to control rising interest rates or inflation, is starting to impact rates now, right?
It's almost a
It
full
is.
point.
And again, we are, again, a word of encouragement too, because it's like rates are rising. Hair's on fire. Rates are still low. Like historically, they are still low. It is still a great time, to make those decisions because they literally are still low. They're inching up, but
yeah.
So what's the right time? Well, it depends, but now might be your time. So
you know what? Your dollar might stretch as far as it's going to for the year coming up here. I think still most of the projections are going to be in the high threes that we're going to end at, or some of the projections are even going up a little above 4 as well, which still, again, historically is low, but it's not what we've become accustomed to.
Yeah, definitely. They were talking about timing and like when's the right time to purchase a home. You just mentioned, Davina. And I heard someone say the best time to purchase a home was last year. So if you're on the fence, now is the time to do it.
Now you're going to make me go like on the marketplace looking for a DeLorean so I can go back in time.
Right. I was going to say, you got to go back to the future, back to the past. Yeah. So, I feel like we need to have a joke a day or something. Like we could open up with like a joke, get our brain juices flowing and our laughters going. So that rhymed, huh?
You're the poet. You didn't know it.
Right. All right. So as we talk about today, we're really excited. Again, you're going to mention this new platform and staying and just giving you some punch and some information before you get on with your day and into your weekend. And we are going to talk about three biggest obstacles that are exist in today's market that sellers aren't even aware of. And so are we ready to start with number one?
Absolutely. And as we go through, we would love to interact. One of the things we really want to do is interact with you. So if you have any questions as we're going along, comments, feel free to hop on in. We'll toss you up because we want to engage with you.
Yes. And again, here's a question too for you guys that are out there that just want to talk and throw some things in is, some struggles that you face. If you've sold a home, what are some of the struggles that you had with your home? So we can learn from you and maybe have some input there. So feel free to drop some information in the chat and we are happy to interact with you. So the number one, well, it may not be the number one, but the number one that we're going to talk about today is not being market ready day one. I love the slide. We need some music behind it. Isn't that a lovely home? I don't think that one's market ready, right?
That was not market ready.
Maybe that's the investor special or the teardown, right? So, but really important that we talk about market ready day one when we're consulting with our sellers, and how important it is to have all of the things that you need to have your home show ready. Buyers are have access to your homes. Looking on the internet, you're going to see the photos. We talk about professional photography. It's interesting how in this market, sellers and a lot of the agents that also are representing sellers say, you don't have to do all that stuff. I can just use my phone. I can take some pictures. It's going to sell. You know what? Your house most likely will sell. However, you can be leaving loads of money on the table because your house is not presented 100%. You're not representing what your home could be 100% and making it so that buyers fall in love, not just like your home the way it looks, but they emotionally fall in love with your home. So being market ready day one is super important. I mean, we can go through a whole bunch of other things that you can do to get your home market ready. Like we have a long laundry list of things to get your home market ready day one, but it is really important that on day one, you do not get a second chance to make a first impression, right? You talk about that dating. I'm going to go out on a date. I'm not going to brush my teeth. I'll do that later. I'm not going to wear my best clothes, but that date's going to arrive on your front porch, or they're going to see that picture and they'll be like, pass, right? Buying a house is kind of like dating.
It is, a little bit of prep work. I find that sellers sometimes underestimate, and that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that they make, is not doing some of the small things that make a big difference, and that they end up leaving money on the table because of that. I mean, a fresh coat of paint, cleaning the rugs, and cleaning up around the house goes such a long way when it comes to showing your property and being able to get top dollar like what everyone is going after. Just one of those small things. So making sure that you're prepping the house, you're having a professional walk through it with you, professional real estate broker, go through the house and maybe give you some tips and advice as far as things that you could do around the house to get it market ready. I think that's one of the mistakes that someone would make.
Davina, I think what you guys said is so good, but there are a lot of people that when they're getting ready, because they do want to maximize their value on the market, they do want to do all the right things, but you know what? They may have equity, they may have value in the home, but they don't have cash in hand to do the things that it takes to actually get it market ready day one. Do we have a solution that could help them out?
We do.
I think we do.
Yes, we do. I mean, and that has been the challenge with some homeowners, is that they're trying to get their home prepped and they know that they have to maybe put in new carpets, new paint, repair that deck in the backyard, but it's a few $1,000s worth of work. And sometimes sellers are their equity rich, but they're cash strapped, and they don't have the funds to make those repairs. We actually have a program where you can actually get the work done, hire a licensed and bonded contractor, come in there, do the work, and you don't even have to pay for it until you close on the house and you get your money. So it's a great program for homeowners who are looking at getting their home prepped and getting ready to sell. Sometimes that small investment of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 that you invest in the property to get it market ready to get ready to sell will yield you, 4 or 5 times more. And that's the advantage of making sure that your home is market ready on day one.
Nice. Like that. Davian, before we wrap that up, you have anything else to add on there?
I think that the only thing that I do have to add is really something that most sellers do, especially if you've been living in your home for years, is getting your house ready is usually doing the things that you wanted to do for yourself, but now you're doing it for someone else, right? So, all those things I think are really important to explore, and it is what it is. That's what we do. We get it ready for someone else, all the stuff, and we don't get to enjoy it. And we get to say, "Gosh, I'd love to buy this house." That's where we want you guys to be. When it talks about, most of our sellers, when they do the things that they're supposed to do, they fall in love with their home all over again, and that's a good indicator that someone else is going to fall in love with their home too. So again, there is solutions, and we'd love to talk with your real estate professional about some solutions to make your home 100% ready before you go on the market day one.
Nice. Very good. So if you're just tuning in, we are talking today about the top 3 obstacles to maximizing the value of selling your home. And we just covered number 1, which was getting your home market ready, being that first impression ready to go to really shine the moment that you hit the market. Now, for number 2, and again, if you have any questions, comments, etc., please share it with us. We would love to interact with you. And if you're watching this on Facebook, like, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit the alerts. We want to communicate. But number 2, so this is one that with the market the way it's been, it's overshooting the market. So what does that mean? Overshooting the market. What are people doing, or what's happening out there? Why is it an obstacle? Because so often right now, sellers are feeling like it doesn't matter what they do. They can just put their home on the market at whatever price, and buyers are going to come and they're just going to buy it because there's no other inventory on the market. Now, in all honesty, can you push the market a bit right now? Absolutely. You can push the market. Inventory is incredibly low. Interest rates, even though they're on the rise, are still historically low. There are a lot of advantages, and it's still a seller's market for a seller to be able to take advantage of. But to overprice the home and be kind of a little bit on the obscene side, that is not going to help you. That's actually going to end up hurting you in the end. What happens when you oversell or overprice the home is it's kind of a needle in the haystack. You're looking for one very specific buyer that is going to see everything that you do and is going to be willing to just go crazy with the price. That's not most of the cases. Buyers really are educated, and they also have to, more often than not, be able to have an appraisal meet for whatever the lending standards are going to be as well. So a couple of the strategies, other than just looking at overpricing the home, pricing it at whatever, and hope that they'll come up to you, or you can start to drop the price, which typically is not a good idea because you're going to start losing leverage as it drops in price, is kind of a Goldilocks approach. So you have overpricing, which is the needle in the haystack at the top. In the middle, you have something kind of a Goldilocks, which is kind of fair market value. Maybe it's a little above in the market right now, where you're just trying to hit this sweet spot in the market. That's great because you get a really good exposure, you're right in line, and you can feel good about where it's priced. But there is one strategy that is also, man, it has been one of the most successful strategies that we've been able to utilize, because it's all about attention when it gets on. And that's actually to almost like a frenzy marketing, which is pricing the home at this market, pricing the home right about fair market value, maybe even a shade below. But what that does is, because buyers are so educated about what's going on, it really causes just so much attention through. And we tend to see all the contingencies. We see those go by the wayside. People are sharpening their pencils. We tend to go above list price, 10, 20, 30 X percent above the list price. Competition, when you're selling your home, is the winning formula for you. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, definitely.
You use the word obscene. They push the market, but they try to be, it just pushing it way far out of the guidelines of probably where they should be. You know, people sit on the market and their home sits on the market and they said, well, my home wasn't marketed correctly. Well, having a good sound pricing strategy is part of marketing and what we do. And getting professional advice from your professional real estate broker, you know, by doing a market evaluation will absolutely probably be one of the best steps that you want to take, by reaching out to one of your professionals like ourselves here at John L. Scott Talent Group, and finding out how much your home is truly worth. We actually could really pinpoint and analyze the market and give you a really good idea. You know, it's not like a Zillow's estimate or some automated home valuation, but it's a really more accurate picture of the marketplace and what's going on around you, that we can really focus in on, like, how much your home is truly worth and how much you could sell it for. And that's the importance of having a good pricing strategy when you're going into this market, any market for it.
Yeah. You know, Steve, with sellers, we know that you're looking at the market right now and you're seeing the prices. You have to have eyes kind of like a buyer. It'd be interesting if you've got any feedback. What have you been seeing? Or if you're a buyer out there, what are you seeing in terms of pricing? Does it seem reasonable? Does it seem a little outside? Do you have any questions? Let us know.
Absolutely.
Well, there is a question here. How far in advance should I reach out to an agent if I'm thinking of putting my home on the market? The answer to that question would be as far as advance as possible. You know, even if you're thinking about it at the end of the year and it's just the beginning of the year, having the conversation, I think, is really important. And then getting a game plan so that you're not running and rushing to try to put things together at the last minute.
Yeah.
So as soon as you know, you want to move.
Yeah. Timing is a key part of your marketing strategy. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing in regards to overpricing is the pitfall of having your home on the market for a lengthy amount of time, and we, the real estate agents, having to we have to stare at each other, and you're asking us what the heck is wrong. I know I like a good campfire, but I do not want to be sitting with my seller listening to crickets, right? So I will, just want to plug in that, if you overprice your home, the market strategy on the buyer side is to look at days on the market, right? It's right now, things are selling single digit days on the market. And once that house crosses over to those double digit days and we're looking at 20, 30, 40, the question is, what's wrong with that house, right? Buyers already know it's overpriced. Then it's like, now it's overpriced and there must be something wrong with that house. And then what happens, Miss Seller, we're going to have to do a price reduction. Oh, yeah. That's the magic thing for the buyers, because as agents and as buyers, when we're representing our buyers, we say, hey, they're motivated now. They really want to sell that house. And so if you overprice your home, you actually could be leaving a lot more money on the table had you priced your home in the beginning, and you're losing out on time in the market. So
yeah, so much of this is about perception. Marketing is perception. And once you start making concessions, you've lost your leverage.
Yeah.
So
nice. All right. So We're going over to the top 3 pitfalls, challenges, obstacles to selling your home and maximizing the value, and some solutions on how you can avoid that so you can really come on the market strong. The very first one was being market ready day one. The second one to avoid is overshooting the market. So, what is the third obstacle that people are encountering here?
Yeah. Third obstacle is, where will you live? Where will you live? Having a plan on where to go once you sell your property. Right?
Absolutely.
Right. Where are you gonna go? Right? The market's like insane. There's a fear there. Like, it's a real fear. Like, people don't want to put their home on the market.
Yeah. Honestly, that one, Don says, honestly, that one is the toughest. Yeah.
How many sellers have you talked to that have said, what we would love to sell our home, but where are we going to go?
Yeah, that's a very common objection right now. You can sell your home, get a good price, premium price, but it's where do I move to? Doesn't.
Yeah, you almost had a little Yogi Bear sound there.
Where do you go? Hey, boo boo. Hey, boo boo.
So I think that it's really important that we educate our sellers, and we plan ahead. The first part as well is getting pre-approved. Like, seller, what are you going to do? Where are you going? Do you want to buy another home? Are you looking to rent? What's your situation? And the first thing that is the first way to get over that obstacle of the unknown and the fear is talking to a lender and finding out what their options are. It's many times, we are already moving the ball forward with the plan to get their home on the market. And then it's like, whoa, hold on. How long does this process take again? Once I put the home on the market, when is the house going to close? Somewhere around 30 days or so after we list. I don't want to be homeless. That's the word that we hear quite often from our sellers, is being homeless. I'm going to be displaced and unable to have a place to stay. So getting pre-approved to see what their options are, whether they need to sell their home first to buy another home is a question. Or, maybe they can sell their home and also have time to find their in residence. We've been seeing a lot of sellers, and with our low inventory, we're saying, oh my gosh, sellers, please get off the fence. We need more homes in our inventory. But there are definitely some ways with the equity that our sellers have for them to get creative and actually be able to compete and be able to find the home that they are looking for as well. What are some of those ways?
I was actually going to lead with that too. I mean, we know that this is an issue. We know it's actually a really big one because it's a scary, scary thing for sellers. And it's actually not just scary, but it's paralyzing for a lot of sellers to figure this out. So, they're kind of the standard things. Hey, we'll try to contingent offer. We'll do this, that. Is there something that's unique that maybe some sellers could look at doing that would really set them maybe apart from the competition and actually help guarantee a level of success for them?
There is. We've partnered with certain lenders now that are able to help you get a home loan based off of the equity in your property and apply that to a new home that you're looking at purchasing. Is that where
what do you mean, Steve? Tell me more.
Oh, whoa. Stop the presses. If you guys haven't heard that, you can actually go out and purchase a home and use the equity that you have in the property and put that towards the new home. So you can actually purchase the home that you're looking at before you have to sell your home. that avoids a few problems. A double move, making sure that you actually have a place to go to before you sell your home. And it's a great program.
Well, so you're saying we can actually buy a home before we sell our home, get everything all set, and then we can actually relax and do all the right things to help our home be market ready day one and maximize the value that we get?
Jurgen, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I would faint if I didn't have so much oxygen in me.
It really is exciting when there are solutions to the obstacles. And the answer to that question, Don, is yes, it is available across state lines. So if you're moving from one state into another state, that is also an option for you.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And not just a state of confusion.
Not right. You can move out of your state of mind, right? So, there are ways, and that is one way where you can actually stay in your home. And it's like the stay in your present house that you're in is actually a pretty extended amount of time. It's amazing, the transition. And there are options as well, as if things don't go through, or there's some setbacks, that it's still there's some solutions for that option to even work out as well. And there's even another option that you can have. It depends on the situation, but there are options where you can actually just tap into the equity that you have into your home and use it for repairs and improvements and things. And that option is available even with using that first option that Steve talked about as well. So when we're kind of packing it up, when we talked about being market ready, right? There's an option where you can do all of that, be market ready, get your place market ready, and stay in your home and find the new home and actually have enough cash to compete with those additional down payment and all of those things in one single bang. So
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yep.
You know what? So if you're just tuning in, you need to go rewind and rewatch, because we just covered top 3 obstacles to maximizing the value of your home and how to address it. The first one was not being market ready day one. Go back and watch that if you need hints on how to make sure you're market ready day one, how to accomplish it. Next was overshooting the market as number 2. And number 3 was, where are you going to go? So,
yeah. Darcy didn't even know about John Scott providing financial help to get market ready without asking the bank for help. Amazing. Well, Darcy, we do have some financial partners that help us to get this going. So there is some lending that's involved as well, and we can talk to you about exactly what that means for you or your friends, or if you're an agent, your clients or whatnot. So just give us a call.
Yep. Yeah. Systems and resources, being able to best serve where you need us.
Yeah.
So for everybody who's actually stuck in and stuck through, we actually have a bonus tip. Now, this isn't necessarily an obstacle, but it kind of is, that once you get going, this is really a key cog to making this all work and maximizing it. And this is going to be one point, but it's actually part of a broader point when we put it through. And that is negotiation expertise. You've done all the work. You've been able to get the attention. Your marketing was so on point. Now that you've got that, what are you going to do? How do you choose? How do you actually figure out how to maximize now? Who wants to tackle that one?
I'll jump in on this one, because when I think about negotiation expertise, I think about making sure that you actually have a professional involved in this entire process. There's so many moving parts within selling your home. I think I just taught a class and we went through like how many people are actually involved in the purchase and sale of home. And there's probably, I think we had about 13 plus people that are involved in the purchase and sale of a home, from the buyer, seller, agent, listing broker, buyer's agent, title, escrow, all these people, and everyone has a role to play in making sure that you could coordinate all of these moving pieces, time frames, contingencies is a huge thing to make sure you get to a successful closing. So just making sure that you're hiring a professional, someone who can negotiate all these twists and turns within these contracts, I think is a huge thing. I mean, going at it by yourself is, I think, is probably one of the biggest mistakes that sellers make.
Yeah. According to NAR, in the top 3 things that people are looking for in their agent, right in that top 3 is negotiation, is being able to do that. And it's one of the things that we have taken a lot of pride and proactive work in doing. I mean, I'd say a good number of our brokers are actually certified negotiation experts, and some have even gone through and taken the steps to be master certified negotiation experts, because we understand the value and the importance of being able to not only get you into contract, but to really negotiate on your behalf to get you what is right. And that's not always just price, right?
Correct.
Right. Yeah. There's terms, there's contingencies, there's timelines. There are a lot of different elements that are involved in a purchase and sell agreement. And it really is about, having, not just having the leading edge on all the other offers if it's in a multiple offer situation, but also making sure that this is right for you. And there's many times that buyers just throw everything at the wall, and then have buyer's remorse because they don't know if they really made the right decision and if they paid too much. And, so it really is, again, it is a numbers, but it also is it's an emotional, and it is it's very subjective. And we have to put all of those things together when we are having conversations with our clients about negotiations. So sellers, it is really important that you also are aware that, yes, it is a market that is in your favor, but you can have a lot more decision making. You think you have all the decision making power, but there are a lot of things that you don't, the protections that you may think or may not even know that exist within a contract, because it's not just getting under contract, it's actually getting to closing. And there are a lot of contracts that do not make it to closing.
Yeah.
And time is money, right? So
you said something there, Davina, that just really hit me, that I just came to mind a thought. It's like, it's not just negotiating, price, terms, conditions, the contingencies, which are all big things, but it's also negotiating, sometimes, a lot of times, the personalities, the emotions that are involved within the transaction, the relationships with that you have within these transactions, to actually make things happen and to, make the wheel spin a little bit more easier, So managing those relationships, I mean, that's what professionals do. And that's why we're here, is to make sure that these transactions go very smooth and problem-free. Sometimes we make it look easy. It's not easy. There's so many things involved that have to get done behind the scenes, and people that we have to work with, that a lot of times people don't see. That makes a big difference. So,
yeah. And when we talk about negotiation, it means that you have hired a professional real estate agent to represent you. Sellers, can they sell their homes on their own? Absolutely, they can. But are they going to potentially have issues, potentially legal issues that cost them thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars? It's possible, if you do not know the laws, and that if you do not have the protections that are in place and the disclosures in place, that you may not know about if you do not hire a real estate professional. So
I can't tell you how many.
3 on your screen right now. So, you know what? We have actually, for today, we wanted to get you 3 obstacles that you might face as a seller in terms of maximizing your value and how to overcome those. So we hit those, and go back if you want to watch it again. I'll guarantee if you're ready to sell your home, you want to watch this again. Not being market ready day 1 was number 1. Number 2 was overshooting the market. Don't do it. And number 3 was not knowing where you'll go. We threw in a bonus of negotiation expertise, because that's kind of the coup de grace, the icing on the cake, the thing that will bring it all together for you. So, you know what? As we wrap, I know we've probably got an announcement or two. We're just about at the end of our time here. But also next week, think about it. If you have some stories of your own, be ready to participate. We want to hear, we want to see, or ask your questions. Am I remembering right? Are we doing Tales from the Field next week? Like experiences in real estate to help. Sometimes they might be funny, but sometimes they're just enlightening. We learn from doing, right?
Yep. And are tales? Are they really tales? They're real. These are real things that are happening. I feel like tales.
I didn't say
not
tall
true.
tales.
Tall tales.
We're talking about life's
real life stories
Yeah.
from the field. So this will be a fun, educational, yes, and entertaining session that we'll have next week.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So bring yours along with. Also, if you're going to be interested in real estate, bring your questions. We would love to answer those for you. For sellers, if you even put after the fact any questions you might have, or private message us, we would be more than happy. We would love to help you out. And any question, there's no bad question. So
absolutely. And we have some things that are coming up. Next week, we didn't do it this week, but we are also going to make sure you tune in, because we have a thing that's called Win a Trip. And we are going to give you an opportunity to, I said apply, but to enter to win a trip. And it's something that we do here at John O. Scott. And we'll give you all the details when you join in with us next week, and you can actually enter during our program next week. So
nice.
Yes. Steve, you got something that's coming up in just a few minutes. We're going to have to jump off of here so you can jump on to something else.
Yeah, we do. So if you're a real estate broker and want to learn more about forms and how to present forms and more about them, tune in to our Forms Friday class at 9 a.m., which is in 5 minutes. You can find our link on our Facebook webpage and just click on and register. Also, if you're someone out there who's thinking about getting a real estate license, we have a career night that's coming up next Tuesday. It'll be in person at our Lacey location. Click on our Facebook page, and you'll find the link to register there as well. Okay.
Nice.
Did I catch everything?
And what was this?
I think so. We had a coat drive, excuse me, over the holidays. It was I think we did it from November through the end of the year. And it was amazing. Clarissa McQuillian led the charge for this event. And we actually delivered the coats yesterday. There you saw some pictures. I think Clarissa was sitting on the coats. It was a total of how many, Steve? How many coats?
172.
Oh my goodness.
It was literally, yes, like bags and bags of coats for men, women, children, and that we delivered to Safe Place yesterday. So it was an amazing event and a great turnout for everyone that participated. So
yeah.
Oh,
thanks, Darcy.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thanks. So
that interaction is what makes it worth it. So
absolutely. So it's time for us to go, and we're going to be back next week.
One quick little plug before.
Don't forget.
So you catch everything that we've got, because all we're looking to do is bring value every single time we come aboard, and we don't know what it's going to be, where that value is going to be. So we want you to help us keep bringing value to you.
Yep.
Yep. Excited
All right.
about next week. We are going to talk about the hard truth of real estate. We're going to have some stories. We are going to share some stories, y'all. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks again for tuning in. We will see you again next week, Friday, if not sooner. But on the count of 3, we'll go out how like we normally do with the big Be Bold. So 1, 2, 3, be bold.
Be bold. Have a
Have a
great
great
day,
weekend.
everyone.
Have a great day, you guys.
Woo. Bye.